All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. What a great event we had with Cyril Chappellet at Market 17. Cyril, a second generation. His father, Don, and his mother, Molly, bought the property in 67 and, the early 60s, developed it. And their 67, I think, was their first vintage. 69 for many years. A large format, held the record for the most money ever paid for a wine, California wine at auction. And, the Screaming Eagle wasn't around back then. But anyways, this is a property that has become one of the most sought-after sites in all of Napa Valley. Pritchard Hill, some of his neighbors include David Arthur, that's a good friend, and a good friend of Cyril's also. These guys will probably have a lot of fun up there on Pritchard Hill together, drinking many bottles of wine. Don Bryant, well, I don't know if they hang out with Don Bryant. He seems a little more on the stuffy side for me after meeting both David and Cyril. And then you've got Ann Colgan up there. You've got Tim Mondavi. I mean, some really big names up there on Pritchard Hill. These guys just purchased the property. It's not like, Don, his property's homesteaded for, I don't know, $600 for whatever the real estate cost him back there in the home. And, these guys originally bought 320 acres, and that acreage is still intact. And then, they had some people move in next door, and Don said, I don't like these people next door living so close by. He bought their property eventually, 300 acres, just to have the property next door so his kids didn't have to worry about them, out there hunting or doing whatever they were doing, accidentally shooting them or whatever. But I bet right now he's wishing he would have bought his other neighbors right around him, because one of the best real estate investments he's made. And it just so happens the other property he bought, well, that's where the well is for the property. That's where they get their water now. So very fortuitous that they happen to do that. And these guys are making great wines. The Chardonnay, they use from purchased fruit. Pritchard Hill, you wouldn't want to plant Chardonnay up there, even though they do have Chenin Blanc up there. But, they're the only people in Napa Valley that have a varietal Chenin Blanc now that Pine Ridge has turned theirs into a California appellation wine. Well, the Chardonnay in 2011, man, I turned to Cyril and I said, that was 2011 for you guys. This was a difficult year. I know friends of mine that, make Chardonnay and Carneros, they didn't make a bottle. They had a lot of rot. And he goes, Andrew, some of our growers, they called me up and they said, sure, you don't want the fruit this year. It's just not, not up to your standards. So, he said, we just made a lot less. And this 2011, man, fantastic juice, really lovely juicy fruit, right tropical fruit, a little bit of vanilla bean, creme brulee kind of notes, a little lemon drop candy, really nice freshness in this wine. And even on the second day, this wine still held together very nicely in the glass, something that I do on a regular basis now, keep the wines on my desk until the second day. And the Chardonnay is still singing. Excellent juice for a difficult vintage at $34. Really good bottle of Chardonnay from Carneros. The Chenin Blanc, as I mentioned before, these guys are the only people that make a varietal Chenin Blanc in Napa. And, Molly Chappellet, I guess, got pissed off at Cyril. He pulled up the Chenin Blanc in 2004. She goes, what are you doing? I'll sell all that personally. It's just to my friends, and I'll drink the rest of it. So in 2005, they planted more Chenin Blanc up there. And I have to say, it's a label that's only sold at the winery. Well, it's who it's important, not what Cyril let us have some for our friends that attended the event, and for you wine-drinking people that couldn't make it that are watching the review here. We do have a little bit of that Chenin Blanc, just simply entitled Molly now, available. And this wine is excellent. I mean, it was fantastic. A perfect match for the spiced watermelon gazpacho with the shrimp and the grilled corn, jalapeno, and mint. I just completely sang with that dish. Great job by the chef with everything this evening. I have to say, I've had dinner at Market 17. Lauren DeShields, the new chef, and I think the last year or so over there, really doing fantastic work. If you haven't eaten there, man, you want to go there just for the food. But for this event, for $95, the best time to experience any restaurant is one of our events. You really do get incredible value. The Chenin Blanc, really nice richness in this wine, especially after it opened up for several hours in the glass. Lovely apple and pear tree fruit, notes of honey extract, some honeysuckle, really bright acidity, and a lovely creamy texture to this wine. Very similar to a dry style of Vouvray, but, typical Napa Valley. A lot of rich, ripe tropical fruit in there. $30, an excellent bottle of Chenin Blanc. All right, and then the Malbec, which is another varietal that they only sell at the winery, but like I said, for you, our wine-drinking people, we do have a little bit available. The label, very cool picture of a dragon, which Cyril's daughter draws. She swears there's dragons up there in Pritchard Hill, so, Dad said, we'll let you put the dragon on one label that you drew, and it's a really cool label. He's got grapes in his hands and fire, of course, breathing from his mouth. And, I always say, it's nice when you have everything, the whole package. And this Malbec, a really unique Malbec. Of course, there's a little bit of other varietals in there the Chappellets like to blend a little Cabernet Sauvignon, a little Cabernet Franc, adds a little extra, salt and pepper, a little spice to this wine. Needs a little grilled steak too. It gets a really nice dark berry fruit in the wine. Still has a nice sense of terroir to it, a nice sense of kind of fresh earth and minerality to it. And a bit lean on the finish, as Malbec can be sometimes, but still has some structure here, has some tannins, nice freshness, overall very nice balance, an excellent bottle of Malbec, and really nice with the slow roasted duck breast, man. I'll tell you, the local oyster mushroom, I don't know what she did to that mushroom, but it was unlike any mushroom I'd ever had. The texture, the flavor, everything, man, just outstanding. All right, and then the Chappellet Signature Cab. I like to say this is the best value coming out of Pritchard Hill, even though it's not all Pritchard Hill. It's about 60%. And, they used to buy from their neighbors there, the Cloudview people, Versant, and those properties got bought up, and they've had to find other sources, but these guys have been in the valley since the 60s. They know a lot of people. They know where the good grapes are, and these guys have really been consistent with this wine and over-delivering in the $50 price range. Like I said, their neighbors 5-6 times the price of this wine, the estate bottle Pritchard Hill wine. So this wine's lovely on the nose, just has this incredible bouquet of dark cocoa, kind of tobacco, espresso, really lovely nuance, dark currants, cassis, berry fruit. I love a lot of 18 months in new French oak, so you do get a lot of toasty oak spice, but a lot of fruit in this wine to match as well. Just really thick and viscous on the palate, but still really nice balance in this wine. Philip Titus has been there since 1990. That's one of the things you need, is a consistency at the winemaking position, and he's making just phenomenal wines. Really long finish in this wine, some graphite, toasty oak notes as well, and a lovely freshness in this wine. This wine needs a little bison strip, which is what we had with it. Mine was a little bit rare, but you don't want to mess with game and overdo it. I'd rather have it underdone than overdone. But it's a really nice combination of different things on the plate with that: mustard greens, little roasted beet puree, cannelli beans. It's a really nice, well thought out dish, and outstanding with both of the Cabernets. The Pritchard Hill wine, in vintages like 2011, they only made about half of the production. This 2009 is about 2,500 cases, 100% new oak, 2 years in the barrel, another year in the bottle. This wine's 100% from their Pritchard Hill vineyards, and is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, mostly 76%, 16% Petit Verdot, and the rest is Malbec, and just oozing with dark berry fruit here. Currants, cassis, dark cherry liqueur, that lovely toasty oak spice, dark chocolate espresso, really well endowed. This vintage 2009 really has got a lot of nice baby fat showing in it right now. Really nice and drinkable, and just wonderful core of solid fruit here, almost liqueur-like in concentration. Everything in balance, though. Big and tannic wine. Needs a little bit of time. This wine will last 20 years or more in your cellar. Really long finish on this wine. Killer juice. One of the best Cabernets that I've had from this 2009 vintage. Again, Lauren DeShields did an outstanding job, as did the whole staff in Market 17. Great job, guys. Kudos to everybody there. And to Cyril Chappellet. What an incredible night. That's what we had to drink at Market 17 for our Chappellet dinner. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.